Hey everybody, welcome to the world's okayest mountain bike podcast. If you only knew what it has taken for me to just get this microphone set up tonight, because I'm in my basement recording, but not alone. We are here with the man who's making all Missouri mountain biker dreams come true right now. The man who... if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be having this big mountain enduro. By the way, if you haven't heard, which if you're listening to this, I'm sure you have, Big Mountain Enduro 2021, May 2nd, the first round of the series is going to be in Missouri. Not in Colorado, not in Montana, not in New Mexico, in Missouri, down at Ironton at Shepherd Mountain Bike Park. And the guy who's designing the whole thing is sitting here in my dirty, messy basement. He's the man behind Jagged Trail Designs, Alex Scott. Alex, how you doing? Scoot up here a little closer to the microphone.
Yeah,
Make sure
that was quite the intro, but yeah,
I try. So I've been trying to get Alex on this thing for a long time now. It's just never worked out.
I thought that's where your intro was going. Is what it took to get me.
Down no, that compared to getting this microphone set up to record, it seems like that was relatively easy at this point. So what are you doing up here in Missouri? We're in an undisclosed location north of Ironton, about 30 minutes. But you're here. Why are you here?
Yeah, up for the weekend, finishing out some flag lines, working on the second black trail on the mountain with the crew.
Working on this. So, have we decided officially, is the first black trail going to be double black designation?
Seems best case, just call it double black. I feel like
we
with
probably
the feedback
should.
We're getting, we might as well. So.
Yeah, we're getting feedback from a lot of people that have seen it, and they're like...
A lot of things you can't go around.
Well, I think it would be the smart thing to do relative to what we have to ride in St. Louis that's designated as black. If those things are black, these are like quadruple black. So
red.
These are red. So we'll probably call it double black just to scare people off. But I finally have him on the podcast, and I want to talk a little bit about what it's like to be a trail builder. But first, I want to talk about your new bike.
Oh boy. So
I have never really had Yeti envy.
I can't say
until you got one for some reason, and now I'm like, crap.
Just wait until I let him ride it.
What size is it?
It is.
You got an XL?
Large. Yeah.
That'd be pretty. Freak. It's gonna feel pretty big for me. So, which build did you get? What did you get? What do you have?
I have the Yeti SB150. It is the GX build. I believe the C1.
Yeah.
C1
Are they still doing that stupid Turk thing?
Yeah, they are. I don't actually know their builds that well. Never really been.
Because you're a trail builder, not a dentist.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
No Turk for you. You're just average Joe. You know what? I looked yours up, and the price on it is actually, like, the retail on it is less than the retail on like a new Trek / 9.8. And the only thing on the Trek / 9.8 that I can think of that might be better, more expensive, better is relative to who you ask, are the carbon wheels.
Yeah.
That's really it. And I was like,
no, it's a sweet build.
Well,
and honestly, yeah, I can't say that I really ever had a huge Yeti, envy or fever anyway. Never really got on with the hype, but it rides pretty sweet. I can say after a couple weeks on it that it feels fast.
Should we pause?
And I hate that. The bikes don't feel fast, but it gives me confidence to go fast.
I took you to a fourth place.
You feel, down in the bike, good head angle, feels really planted. It's like a more planted Sentinel. That's kind of the best.
Yeah, you had the old version of the Sentinel. I wonder how the new one feels, though. Have you ridden the newer Sentinel with the 150, 160?
No, I haven't ridden that one.
Probably pretty similar.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna pause this podcast. You won't really notice the difference, but we're gonna make sure it's actually recording real quick. And we're back, and you're probably wondering what that was all about. We just had to make sure this was recording because I'm doing this a different way than usual, but I figured it would sound better than my phone in the truck, is the way Krangle and I usually record when we're going to ride. So anyway, we have this world-renowned trail builder here, but look. Agree or disagree? Big Mountain Enduro is the premier enduro series in the United States. Agree or disagree?
Yeah.
Agree? Okay. They currently have 4 rounds on their 2021 schedule. And you are responsible as trail builder. That would be my water softener charging up. Just ignore that. Okay, back to what we were saying. Ooh, it's going to be hissy. I'll edit it out. You are responsible for how many of those rounds as far as where they're going and the locations?
2.
That's half. So technically speaking, you're the trail builder for half of the 2021 Big Mountain Enduros, unless they add a 5th round, which I know they're working on, but I have no idea where that's going to be. I just know Ironton, Shepherd Mountain, and Glorietta, and Angel Fire. No,
anymore.
No, not Angel Fire. Winter Park and Big Sky.
Yep.
So, yeah. So what? Look, why do you think it is people like your trails so much? It's okay to brag on yourself.
No. I don't know why. I've never thought of it in that way. Like, why do people like the trails?
Okay, well, let's suppose that this. I was gonna say, what's kind of, if you were to say, this is what my philosophy as a trail builder is.
I think like all our guys do a great job of this as well.
And gal.
Morgan, what's up? Oops. Anyway. Try and like utilize what's there more than some builders, I think. Not to say we don't manufacture some features. We don't, we do stack jumps, we do add things, but use what's there first and then add what's needed because it gives you a more natural feel. And I like rocks. I like to use a lot of rocks.
You do like rocks.
As much natural rock. I don't like staircases. Like a manufactured rock garden, if you're just building stairs, isn't a rock garden. It's just stairs.
So it's more you don't let's put it this way, you wouldn't like map out like in the way you do it is you don't say, okay, here's the trail I want to build and then go take a machine and sculpt the trail out of the side of the mountain. It's more, well, let's go to the mountain, see how the mountain is laid out, how it flows, and see if we can connect what's already there.
Yeah, dude, Shepherd provided the goods. It's already all up there.
It's already there.
I mean, if you're talking green trails, you have to do a lot more carving. That's a whole other story. But if we're talking about like enduro-type trails, black trails, even the blues, use what's there. Find like the good natural like chutes and rock drops and everything else before you go building those same features somewhere just because the alignment works, like.
Now you've been out there today in this beautiful rainy weather.
It's pretty chilly.
Flagging a new line. Did you flag the new blue line too, or just the black?
No, just black today. We're still trying to figure out some alignment issues on that blue, where we want it to go, and figuring out the best spots for dirt, because that one's going to be a little more manufactured with some raw sections, but then having some tables and stuff built in there.
Okay.
Almost like a scaled down modern blue DH track, if that makes sense. Some like
that
good.
It
doesn't make any sense. But like DH tracks now, you have like these really raw taped in sections where the lines kind of form, and like the racers determine that. But then they'll bust out into the open and have huge berms and tables and doubles and whatever else. Just a much more low-key version of that. Obviously not as steep, but having some raw sections that aren't taped, but they're corridored out at a certain width and let those lines fill in. But then, they'll funnel into a point where we find good dirt, big berm, throw a couple jumps in, and then right back into the raw.
Okay. So there's going to be some more jumps. If Krangle was on here, he'd be jumping for joy.
Yeah, I mean,
he just wants,
we're friends on Facebook. I've seen it.
He just wants
jumps.
A-line. That's all he wants. He doesn't want to suffer for it.
Yeah. There's not that much dirt up there.
I was going to say.
I mean, there's dirt, but
there's not that much where you kind of have to take it.
There's
where
not
you can
A-line
find it.
dirt.
So, what's? I know usually people start these podcasts talking about your background. I think we'll save that for the end since we didn't start with it anyway. But so you've got your own trail building company. I think you told me earlier you've got 10 employees, not including yourself and Kelsey.
Yep.
Your wife, who's here with your little baby, hanging out upstairs watching TV. Not that anybody needed to know that, but in life. Well, so tell me, what are give me the best thing and the worst thing about being a trail builder. Let's start with the worst. What's the worst part of the job of owning your own trail building company or doing the job that maybe people wouldn't necessarily know? Because I think a lot of people...
I think there's two different answers here for each of those as well, because owning versus just being a builder, and I've been in both those situations. I'd say just being a builder... This is a weird one. I always hated corridor work. I don't know why.
Explain what that is when you say corridor work.
Yes. Just clearing the brush, especially in thick sections. It just doesn't feel like you're getting anything done. I love the dirt work side of things. I love seeing the visual progress on the ground and going, I'm going to ride my bike on that later today. First tracks. Best part of the job.
Underbrush. I feel like a lot of West Coast people don't even understand that problem.
Yeah, Midwest and Texas is pretty bad. New Mexico's hit or miss. It wasn't too bad, but
there's some spots that I was trying to walk to maybe come up with a stage that we ended up not needing. But it was starting to get dark. I had to turn around and climb back up the mountain because it got to a point where I could not get through the brush.
Bramble and thorns and everything else. And
it would have been a sweet line too, but
yeah,
we can't do this.
That was just a weird, I don't know. I always hated that when I was on the ground every day. And weather sucks. It's kind of, a weather dependent job. So if it's freezing outside, I don't mind the heat as much. I hate the cold. If it's 15 degrees, I don't really want to be out building. If the ground's frozen, you're swinging a pick at the dirt and it's pinging off like it's a rock. It's just not a great time to be out there.
Fun. What about as the owner?
I think
getting contracts.
Yeah. Well, okay, I would say the stress of having people rely on you for a job is definitely looming at times. You're like, man, we got to get these contracts going. And yeah, I mean, it's been fine, but it's just, it definitely is some pressure that you don't think about until you do own it, and you have 10 people working for you that you care about. And then not building as much is the downfall of owning. Well, at least owning where we kind of are managing multiple crews in multiple states. I do a lot more bouncing between job sites and looking at future contracts than I do on the ground, which is why today was sweet.
Yeah, it's about time you got back up here. It's been a while, and that since the last time you were up here. And I just want to remind you, I know you got 3 different jobs going on right now, but only one of them is a place that's hosting a big mountain enduro in 2021. So
you're not wrong.
You need to get up here more. So what's the best part of owning and the best part of being a trail builder?
Mentioned this earlier, but visual progress. I love just seeing what you did at the end of the day. I just couldn't do a desk job. I love seeing the result of your labor and then getting to ride it and being creative. basically given a blank canvas and get to just make something out of it. Not to get all like artsy on it, but it's just sweet to make something that you get to then use. And I love riding bikes, so that's a lot of fun.
Well, I imagine a lot of mountain bikers, I don't think at least in the Midwest, the thought of building mountain bike trails for a living was on anybody's radar until the Northwest Arkansas thing kind of took off. And then there were definitely jobs opening up down there. But I think a lot of us, we think we would love to do that job if we felt like we could make a living doing it. But
yeah, I always laugh like with the new hires, kind of just tell them straight up in the beginning that I know this is a romantic idea of a job, if you will. A lot of people are like, "Oh, it sounds so sweet. I just like to like ride my bike and be outside." Yes, but also you have to do corridor, which I hate. No, it's brutal work whether you're in the machine or not. I mean, a lot of hand-built trails too. You're moving rocks all day long. It definitely takes a toll on your body. It's hot, it's cold, a little bit of everything. So it's not for everyone, but I mean, the people that love it, and we've definitely built a team of people who really enjoy it and are making a career out of it.
Well, I remember I learned this must be true back in 2018, and you were building in Bella Vista. You had been working on the Passion Play. We had the race there, and you told me, you're like, "Dude, you're gonna beat me in this race." I'm like, you built the trails. And you're like, "You don't understand. I don't ride. I don't get to ride anymore. I'm too busy building." And I'm just like, whatever, because when I first started racing, that first year I raced in Texas, and you were at almost every race I was at.
I was riding a lot
and
more.
You waxed me at like every race, and I was so mad. I was like, I'm so sick of this guy winning every time we race. And then,
so wait till we ride motos. You're gonna do 2 laps by the time I do 1.
If you ever bring it up here.
I know, it was raining.
But we get there, and you're like, "I'm telling you, you're gonna beat me." I'm like, "Whatever." And then I did, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, he must not ride at all. Like no legs whatsoever."
Chicken legs.
Yep. So we can get to the background. You don't have to spend a ton of time on it. But you're not, see, what I think a lot of people get surprised at, which I say this prefaced by, I mean, coming from certain people that I know involved with Big Mountain Enduro, like it's not an exaggeration to say if you had not been hired in Jagged Axe as the company building it, Shepherd Mountain and Ironton, I've heard it said by someone who would know that there would be they never would have remotely taken it serious enough that Missouri could host one of these and have like good stages if it wasn't that you specifically were the trail builder. I say that because something that almost everyone, when they find this out, when we were talking with the city and stuff, is it's like, yeah, he's got his own trail building company, blah blah blah. Like, you're not that old.
yeah.
How old are you now?
25.
25, right? So, and you started Jagged Axe like several years ago.
Yep. Officially 2018, so it's been 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Officially, we were kind of getting some framework for it and getting the ball rolling before that, and like even did some jobs kind of under our own name, but not like an official LLC.
We got to get you on one of those 30 under 30 lists or something.
Oh, I don't know about
I mean,
that.
not very many. Look, not very many 23-year-olds. Of course, I don't know how long you've had 10 employees or how many you started with, but not many 25-year-olds own their own business with 10 employees. It's just not normal.
Well, so let's give credit where credit's due. I couldn't do it without Kelsey, because she actually does like the hard stuff about the business. I'm just,
she handles
I'm the monkey on the ground, just moving dirt. So
she's younger than you are, isn't she?
Yep. Yep.
By
24.
Okay.
She'll be 25 in May.
That's she's still in plenty young territory where you can say her age without fear of
Yeah.
like 24 is fine. You're like, we'll revisit this when she's perpetually 29 or something like that.
Oh.
And she also rides. She's a pretty good rider in her own right. I remember this from the Texas days. Now you guys have a little baby nugget. How old is Avery, by the way?
6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
Good night. My children are obsessed with her. Anytime she comes over, like all they want to do is look at her.
What Klint really means is he's obsessed with her.
She's pretty cute. All right, what were we even talking about? Background. So I remember talking with the city when they asked us who we recommended, and we told them, and it didn't turn them off, but the eyebrows definitely go up when they find out he's only 24.
I imagine
like how much experience. We're like he's been building forever, and then we say Andy's 24, and they're like,
what?
This does not compute.
Doesn't add up.
But you've been building trails since you were, I don't know. Is there ever a time you can remember not building trails?
Not really. I mean, started building when I was 9, like quite a lot actually. We built 16 miles of trail out at Camp Eagle where I grew up, and worked with a lot of people in that time that knew what they were doing. It wasn't just, I mean, it definitely started out like, oh sweet, check out this old horse trail, let's reclaim it, and it sucked, and we learned our lessons. But some people from IMBA were involved, and some other just like experienced riders who'd been building for a long time had a lot of input on that system, and learned a lot from them at a young age, and did a lot of like paid hours for race series at other venues throughout the years, doing trail work and maintenance, and and then started building professionally in 2016. That was the first. Well, I mean, I was paid through high school a little bit to build out of the camp, but like that was the first like paid job, and that was Jagged, the trail in New Mexico, which then later became the namesake for the company, and that all just started because we found a nasty old Jagged axe head on the trail. I still have it.
That's not a very exciting naming story, though. I did see that the Mo Awesome guy, it's like Mo and Hannah. He does a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
He I don't know which trail specifically, but they did like this tour across America. They were out west, and they ended up all the way over in like Kentucky and North Carolina, and then back. And they said in their video at Glorietta that it was like his favorite trail he's ever ridden.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know if I actually watched that.
I thought they were going to come here. They were planning to, but they ran out of time. They had to get to Colorado, or I don't know what. Mo, if you're listening, which you're probably not, but if somebody knows Mo who from Awesome MTB on YouTube, would you please tell him there's a fan that would be happy to give him a tour of what we're building here? Because I thought I was going to get to ride with him. He didn't know that, but I thought I had a chance. So you've been building since you were 9. I think the job I'm at is the longest I've ever been at any single job in my life, and that's 2 years and a couple months.
Yeah, a lot of hours, and just I mean, in college too, wasn't building professionally, and was definitely building some bandit trails in Texas. I won't say where, but if I wasn't at work or in school, I was out building trail. Like, just loved to do it, even before it was a paid job. Super passionate about it, and I like to build what I want to ride. So I was always encouraged to build because I wanted to ride it, and a lot of that stuff doesn't get built if you don't do it yourself.
Well, I can definitely say I'm quite happy. And even, we had at Shepherd this phase 1 down there. It's 5 downhills, green, 2 blue, 2 black. Yeah, the green in the middle, it's
green blue.
It's green blue. You need to have brakes that work, but it's smooth.
Smooth, wide.
But even that trail it really does feel like it goes with the mountain. Like, I know it's cut in, but it does not have the same old rolly bench cut that I'm used to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
It keeps going with the mountain. It's got character. It's got side hits. It's fast. Like, if you want to go fast on that,
so fast.
In fact, you have to use the brakes on it.
Yes.
Or you're going to hit a roller and go huck yourself into oblivion.
It just gets harder for advanced riders because you're going so fast that some things you start to air out that you shouldn't be airing out.
If you see rollers,
if you're a green rider, it's pretty green because you're not going super fast. But if you start rolling too quick, it gets out of hand. There's some transfers in there that are sneaky.
I need to find some. But yeah, it's obvious to me, like, you build with more advanced riders still in mind. And it's not cookie cutter. Like, the 3 trails, well, okay, only 1 trail's pretty well finished. The blue's about half done.
So the green's probably 2/3 or 3/4 now. So
the flavor is so different.
Like, this new black's gonna be.
You know, I've been to other places where there's a plethora of trails, and yeah, some are supposed to be more advanced than the other, but they just feel very similar. Like, every one of them, the dirt, the way the turns flow, you kind of just ride them all as fast as you can. Like, and when I say as fast as you can, I mean, like, you pedal as hard as you can to build some speed, and then you just try to hold that speed. Not a whole lot of need to brake hard. Then the amount of turning, the way you're just going along the side, you go up a little, down, up. They're all very similar. So even somewhere like, to me, Kohler, you know, there's not a huge difference. Of course, I haven't been there in a while, but at least the old version, there wasn't a huge difference between the way you rode Fireline and the way you had to ride Cease and Desist. And even Rock Solid, which is full of rock, and I know it should be very different. Like, the way I felt like I was trying to ride them it was all very similar. If you can pedal and get more speed, get more speed. Whereas these, all 3,
brake,
very different. Lots of braking, but the black and the blue are nothing alike. Like, there's nothing about them other than the very top that's similar.
And even, like, we'll just call it Black 1 for now because we haven't officially named it, but Black 1 that's finished. I mean, what's our average speed? We were talking about this earlier. It's like 12 miles an hour or something. 11, 12.
Yeah, it's not the average speed is not that high,
but it just doesn't feel slow. It doesn't feel boring. Just a lot of big rock moves, checking up for rock rolls.
It
drops,
feels
technical corners.
I mean, honestly, once you get past the squirrel catcher steep roll in,
yeah,
which is pretty close to the top, and once you get past that, from there to the bottom, it almost feels like anywhere where you're not touching the brakes feels like an accomplishment. Like, oh, I stayed off the brakes for a whole second there.
Definitely no pedaling on that run.
And for sure, once you get past the first true drop,
yeah.
After that, anywhere where you go for more than a second, if you don't tap a brake, you feel like you've gained speed real fast, and you feel like you're gonna get out of control and die.
And it's cool too because I think this, we'll say Black 2 that we started on. It's gonna be, I wouldn't say polar opposite, still on the same hill, a lot of the same rock, but smaller features sprinkled in, lots of just kind of like rock chunder, some like higher speed, not super tall like stair steppy stuff, and some rock glades. But I'd say the average speed on this run has got to be like way closer to 20. Like, I'd say that like top times are going to be like 18, 19 miles an hour. It's going to be wicked fast, and you will be able to stay off the brakes a lot, which is where people are going to be super fast on it if they're not on the brakes, because it'll let you, like, the turns are still lots of good turns, but they're mellow, or they have good catch ruts and
a little more open.
Yeah, it's just full throttle. Like, all the way through.
How long? Do you know how long it's going to be?
It's longer than the other one.
It's long.
I need to get an exact.
The other
GPS
one, it's
on
only
it.
like it's like 0.62 of a mile on Strava.
I think this one's
so-
probably like 0.8 or something. I think is
Okay.
what.
So you might have
about.
similar times, but you're going a lot faster.
Yeah, I think like time wise, it's probably similar, but way higher speed. Like
Okay.
white knuckling for different reasons than black one.
Yeah. Black one to be named. So I think you get to name them.
Yeah.
Unless you
And
name it something terrible,
I
the city's
think-
going to be like, great.
I think we're naming black one Cannonball, but just
Okay.
at this point.
That works for me. Yeah, but truly, like, the challenge on Black One is not how hard can I pedal, how well can I carry speed to keep moving forward on this section. The challenge is how long can I convince myself to let off the brake before I grab it again.
Yeah, and a lot of
And it's not very long.
a lot of like setup and line choice like really factors in your overall speed. I think you know
Yes.
because like you get offline on some of those sections and
There's
you have to like square back up on the
De-
trail and it kills so much
There's
speed.
definitely a turn or two where coming in hot is going to result in losing a lot of
the
time.
one through like the rock shoot deal.
Well, that one's
the-
pretty
well,
obvious because
yeah.
it's so steep. Like you don't really have to think of you're just trying to stay in control. But after that, a little closer, couple turns down from there, I can thinking of
That
a left hand
with the it's got like this
It's just like
perfect
weird
pointy rock,
right in the middle, and you either have to go. And
If you're above
and
it,
it's
it
off
works so
camber, and you
good.
got to stay high, but that means you got to brake. So you feel like there's no way I'm going fast because you're not.
But you still are.
But to make the corner, you have to go so slow to stay high, and if you don't, you're going to end up having to unclip and like push your bike back up on the trail and take off
and it's
again
gonna
in a
be
bunch of rocks. So you can't really pedal.
It's going to be
amazing.
a great race run too, because you're just going to have
So
to
many
like
people are
ride
gonna
within
screw up
your
right
limits. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those trails that if you don't ride controlled, like just the race runs out, like you're going to go off trail.
Yeah.
You have to know your lines and you have to ride.
But it does
within-
finish really fast, and even at the top, it's fast.
You gotta say the
speeds at
finish is
top,
fast. I mean the jumps.
You're over 20 at the top, and then at the
bottoms,
bottom,
it's like almost
over
30.
26.
Yeah.
I know on my Strava data says one run I did the cannon log that's close to the bottom, and I did not touch the brakes from there
Looking off that thing.
all the way down around the berm into the jump, and it was like 26.2.
Yeah.
Which on a bike it's solid ground there, but I wouldn't call it smooth.
No, it's still pretty.
There's a lot of embedded rock sticking up,
Yeah.
and so to not touch the brakes all the way around that turn and like commit to I'm not touching the brakes.
Yeah. And
26 there feels really fast, and there is a tree on the outside of that berm at the exit of it. That
Yeah.
if you drift a little too wide, it's
Smack.
gonna be awful. I never even noticed that till the other day.
Yeah.
Never bothered me until I crashed the other day at Pyre. And then I started noticing everything.
Yeah, oh, that tree could hurt me.
Wow. Plus there were some leaves kind of down, so I was staying really high up at the edge, and then realized like, oh, that tree is kind of close. So it's definitely has the high speed.
Yeah.
I feel like blue one that's done right now, it tempts you
It's pretty fast.
to
It's
it
pretty
tempts you
fast.
to, but the problem is those turns are loose right now.
Yeah. A
and
couple of them sneak up on you.
You better, they will. You better be. Good
I think
at-
those are going to get rutted nice too. Though you're going to be able to start carrying more speed. They're going
Yeah.
to get like embedded pretty good.
But it's just a totally different flavor. It's more roller coastery.
It
I
is,
feel like.
yeah. Yeah, that one's a good rip.
And I think that one will be one that's like not terrifying when it's wet. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
kind of gravelly.
A lot of dirt.
A lot of dirt.
But not in like a mud dirt
But
way.
it doesn't have like all these oddly shaped off camber rocks everywhere that are just waiting to spit you off to the side. I mean, seriously, Lord help us if it rains.
So
For
far,
that
I would
DME,
say
I'm scared.
Black 2 will be way less threatening in the wet too. It only has one section that would be like, oh, it's a glade we're running across. But you run, like we line it up, you run straight across it. Zero turn,
Oh, okay.
But it is like 200 feet on solid rock.
Okay.
So, well, I mean, just don't grab brakes and you'll be fine.
Yeah, keep your pointed straight. Don't grab brakes.
Yeah.
Be all right.
Nice straight run out, nice straight run in. So it should be fine.
Black one, or we can just go ahead and call
Yeah.
it Cannonball.
Sure.
Why not? If it rains and we have to race that in the wet,
I'll walk. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'll be
Lord
dragging
help
brake.
us. Oh my gosh. What line do you take on the big rock? There's a big, fully exposed, huge rock spine slab. I guess you still go across the top.
I think I'd still go top, and then on the rock, roll into left-hander. I think still same approach. Like
There's only one way to do it.
Drop in as slow as you possibly can, and then once you hit dirt, start grabbing brake again.
Throw your foot out and slide.
Flat pedals.
Take
are
the
going,
Teddy line.
I think flat pedals are going on if it rains on this course. Like
You think?
I don't know. I've been riding flats back and
I
forth
feel like
on
it's
the
so
e-bike a
bouncy,
bunch,
my
so I
feet
think
would fly off.
I'm getting used to it, and some variation's fun.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. Alex, appreciate you doing this. We've got a couple guests lined up for some podcasts soon. We're going to have Dave Elkin with Big Mountain Enduro wants to do podcast. And then next Wednesday night, so it'll probably get published Thursday, we've got Lauren Pointer, who she's from St. Louis area. I think she set a record for riding the Katy Trail. We've got her lined up. So, yeah, should have a couple more podcasts coming real soon.
The pods.
Here's the thing about your Yeti that's the problem.
Oh, here we go. Wrap it
Before
up with
we
the
wrap
Yeti.
it up.
Start with the Yeti.
You
end
went
with the Yeti.
with the. Don't they have all kinds of colors now? And you went with the murdered out black.
Well,
You don't strike me as that guy.
I don't think I would have got the Yeti turquoise.
No, I'm with you
whatever.
there. You can't do that, you know.
The gray they have is pretty slick. It's a good color,
Okay.
and I might have chosen that. But also, if you're gonna buy one of these, check out Mountain Movement in Springfield.
Momentum cycles. Momentum cycles.
Don't do it. I'm just kidding.
No, down there. If you live much closer to Springfield than St. Louis, by all means, go where? Where's the place?
Mountain Movement. He's got a bunch of Yetis in stock. Go check it out.
Yeah, Chris does not pay us anything for this podcast. I don't know why we keep plugging them, honestly. Not even getting a new bike this year.
It was one of those, I had no expectation of buying a bike that day at all. And then I walked out of the store with the Yeti. Just, it's kind of how it goes.
Is that where you got Kelsey's bike?
Actually, no.
No.
Yeah, we're partnering up with Mountain Movement, and some of that was in discussion that day, and it was kind of like, oh yeah, I'll have to get on a brand you guys carry, and we're kind of going to phase out with Jameis, and he's like, well, I got this SB150 in an extra large here.
Oh, it was in there on the floor.
Oh, he's like, take it outside and test ride it. And I was like, okay, so he threw some pedals on it and pedal around. I was like,
Oh, no.
I think it feels sweet. I'm just in a parking lot, so I don't know, but I'm like hucking off whatever I can. I was like, sure, let's do it. I mean, this is probably the one I'd choose, like SB150. I'm not real picky on color. I don't know, the black's kind of slick though. It's pretty nice.
It needs pop. It needs some color.
Hey, I
pop.
got that blue stem on there.
Hey, Hannah's got a Cricket. We could get you some hot pink stickers like I have on my bike. That could be our
Did
thing,
you print
Alex.
those stickers?
No,
Oh.
I got those from Stickered.
I was gonna say, dang.
But this would move quicker.
Yeah, you're right.
Just go.
I have that, it had like a, I think 50-something mil stem on it, and I was not thrilled on that. So put a 40 on there, and they had an Industry 9, like, blue. So I've got, one little pop on there for you.
Okay.
Maybe I'll end up with some matching
Like
wheels.
the polar
at some point.
opposite of my bike.
Yeah, all
Neon.
color with some black.
Yeah.
All black with a little color.
I'm just not bro enough. If you listen to our podcast, you'd know what I'm talking about. We have a whole episode dedicated to how bro are you. Have a whole point system and everything.
I started that one and it didn't end up finishing it, but got to where I was going in the car.
Harsh.
And no,
You're not invited anymore.
I just got to where I was going in the car. It's probably here.
It's probably
it's probably here.
All right, well, we're going to wrap it up so we can actually go hang out with our wives who are upstairs. I appreciate it, Alex, and if you ever see this guy and you're from Missouri, you should buy him dinner or something because no joke, he's making all our dreams come true. All right, see you, everybody.
See ya.